So in this video, I will now share out some little specific work practices as we go along. So step number one in the adventure of building our website, we have started Visual Studio Code, and we're going to set it up with a couple of extensions. So we're doing that part right now. So we're going to go and start Visual Studio Code on Windows or Mac, whatever. I mean, you've used it before for Python, so I'm pretty sure you're okay with getting it up and started. I guess it's a little bit slow here because I'm running Zoom and I'm also running Camtasia, but it'll catch up after a while. Let's try this again. Why is that taking so long? Oh, sorry, I was looking for the wrong thing. I should have said code. I think I said Coda. Visual Studio Code. Yeah, sorry guys, it's just a bit slow here, but it'll catch up to us eventually. Now, if you do have anything open from your previous project or something, just go ahead and close it. The first step we must do is make a new project. So make a new project to do your work in. And that is simply a directory on the file system of your computer. So we're going to go now and do File, Open Folder, and we're going to make a new folder. I just made one, but I'll make another one. So I'll say New Folder, and I'll call it 2023.12.06.B. And I'll say Select Folder. And now we see way up there at the top, right, that is our folder. Now close any open screens. Now, because we want to make a website, and a website is HTML. Oh, actually, let's just double check you guys have some necessary extensions. So go here to the extensions and search for HTML. They don't cost anything, so just grab whatever looks good. Now, I've already got that. Actually, I think it's saying that that's deprecated if it's got a line through it, not being used anymore. All right, don't care. So you can go ahead and get HTML, CSS support, IntelliSense for CSS, HTML boilerplate. Just basically get whatever you want. Now just click on a bunch of them. Just play with them. You're not going to break anything. And now I'm also going to be working with CSS soon, so I'll go and get some CSS helpers. Pretty good. Just click on a few of those. Oh, Tailwind. That's a cool one. Well, that must be new because I didn't see that there before. And we're also going to be working with JavaScript a little bit, not too much. We can spend an entire 14-week course just on JavaScript. But let's get JavaScript. And again, just select several. I already have most of them because I work with it a lot, but you just go and grab a couple. All right, so what's the next step we do now, do you think? I suppose we probably need to make an HTML file, because file, as we've seen here in our study on information systems, whether it's a Python program or a Power BI or SQL database, whatever it is, it must be contained in a file. So let's make a file. And by convention, normally, it doesn't have to be, but usually most of the time, the first file in a website is called index.html. So make an index.html file. So to do that, I'm going to say File, New File, and I'm going to go up to here, And I'm going to say index.html. Very important that you put the .html part because that gives linting. Linting is telling your editor what kind of a file it is, so your editor can help you out in terms of keyword completion, color coding, IntelliSense, right? It can warn you if it thinks you're doing something wrong. So call it index.html and then create file. And once again, save it in your appropriate directory, create file. So we now have I have a bunch of AI code assists. I have Tab 9 and GitHub Copilot and a couple of others. I have Llama Code Assist, but anyway, you don't need any of that stuff. Now we're going to go and proceed to make our HTML file. All right, is everybody doing good? I want you to type yes in the chat box if you're up to the point now ready to make your index.html file. Plus, I'm also taking attendance. So type yes in the chat box, please. Gursimran Singh, good job. Mehakdeep Kaur, good. Oh, I only have 2 students in class. Well, anyway, I have Amrit Pal, I have 3. All right, so anyway, for you 3, I'll carry on now. I saw another couple of people kicking in there. So we need to make an HTML file. And an HTML file is what? An HTML file is a file which presents the document, the HTML document object model, to the browser. Now the browser is a couple of things. A browser, what exactly is a browser? Have you ever wondered about that? I know you've all used them your whole life. Do you know what it is? A browser is a application software, just like Microsoft Word. It provides an HTML rendering engine. So it can turn HTML tags, such as we're now going to make, it can paint them onto the screen in a pleasant looking way. It has a couple of other things. It has a CSS rendering engine, because we're going to use CSS later. And it also has a JavaScript interpreter, so it's going to be able to interpret our JavaScript code. Which will manipulate, the HTML nodes, DOM nodes. So a node is one HTML tag, and I'll show you in a few minutes how we can do things like changing an image when you do an on-mouse over event in response to events in the DOM. Change the elements of the DOM in response to user events. So a rendering engine, CSS rendering engine, and JavaScript interpreter. That's your browser. That's what we're doing now. Now we're writing HTML, which is going to make all of that stuff happen. Oops. So now we're going to go to our Visual Studio Code, and let's make the very simplest web page you could ever have. So because we need the HTML DOM, and you can see my code assist is kicking in there and helping me. So I'm going to start with OpenHTML and close with CloseHTML, because that is what defines the document object model of this thing called the web page. And now next I should have a head node, and that should be closed with a close of head. Now the head, that's not too important really. I mean, it provides the title which shows up in the tab of your browser. We can link into a CSS page, which we'll do later. However, mostly, the head's not that big a deal. In the old days, There were entire industries, and I knew people who did this, right? They were getting paid pretty good money. They were called Google search engine optimization specialists, and they would do all kinds of things in the head. They would put keywords and stuff to try and trick the Google search algorithm. However, Google found out and it got mad, so it changed the way that Google search works now. So if you've ever heard any of these big fancy talking about you can do SEO optimization, no, you can't. I know, because for my real estate practice, I have a pretty good website and I study how to make it work well. The only way you can get SEO, Google search engine optimization these days, is to have genuinely interesting content. Genuinely interesting content. In fact, because we also need a theme, so here's one thing I'm going to ask each one of you to think about. You need a theme for your project. So you're going to make a website, and I will let you come up with the theme of it by yourself. So think of something you'd like to tell a story about. Maybe it's your favorite singer, right? Maybe you play soccer, maybe your religion or your kind of cultural background or something. I see some chat comments I'm going to go and answer. But just come up with some story, something you would like to tell a story about. Anything you want. It's your website. Okay, I'm going to go and read my comments now. Oh, everybody is just saying yes. Good job. Great. All right, so my story is going to be about how to make a web application because that's what I'm interested in. That's why I teach it and work with it. But you make your story about whatever you like. Maybe your cultural background, right? Maybe your religion. Maybe you have a certain philosophical belief of the world. So whatever it is that you like, you go and work on that, and I'll show you how to do it. I had one student last term, and I think she was it Sikh, I believe, and and I can't remember. I actually wish if I did remember, but she was in this sort of philosophical thing, which was about kind of being peaceful and learning how to make your thoughts peaceful and harmonious. And there's certain was it Arvadine or something, AV something. Anyways, eating certain kinds of foods and doing certain kind of meditation practices. So she wrote actually a beautiful web page on that. I told her, put that up on a blog site somewhere. People would love to read that. So you write, and you'll write. It'll be more interesting. This will be a more fun activity if you think of something that's actually interesting to you. All right, so let's move on. So now we're going to go and finish our simple web page here. So now I also need the body. And the body is where I put stuff. So I could put a tag, an HTML tag, such as hello class. Actually, I'm going to make my website about history of technology because that's what I like. How web applications, how the architecture, that's just my story, right? You write it about your own story. I'm going to say how the architecture of web applications evolved over the years. And now let's see what that looks like. So now, first of all, I have to save. Save. And now I have to run. So you see here, I was in my extensions tab, and I have some other tabs as well. I'm going to go up to the topmost tab, which is called the Explorer. See? There's Find, Source Code Control, Debugger, Extensions. I can access other remote systems. I can do many things here. But I want you to go up to File Explorer. Now, I want you to right-click. See? So you go to your file that you just made. Make sure you save it. And you right-click with your right mouse button. And you say Open with Live Server. Open with Live Server. Right, once again, I'll show you that again. So I've saved. And I go on my web page, right, my index.html, and I right-click and I say Run Open with Live Server. And now I'm serving, there's an HTTP server, which is built right into Visual Studio Code, which is now showing me my web page. Everybody got that going? Right, I don't see anybody in the chat box expressing any difficulty, so I guess we're all okay. Now I'm going to go back to Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to see the next thing a web page should probably have, which is some pictures. So first of all, I don't think I have any pictures handy, so I'm going to go and find some pictures on the history of technology. And you're going to find pictures on whatever has to do with your theme. Well, you know what? These images all kind of suck, in my opinion. And because we're on this theme of AI today, I'm going to go to bing.com create. And if you choose to do this, I think it works better with Internet Explorer. Right? Well, it probably works with Chrome, but I figure if I'm going to use Microsoft's product, I should at least be polite and use their browser. So I'm going to go to bing.com create. And I'm just going to search for something here. Now, yesterday it was so slow. It was painfully slow. But hopefully today it'll be a little bit faster. So it's creating. Oh, actually, it's, well, it hasn't created yet. I'm going to come back to here in a couple of minutes because I honestly don't want to spend like 10 minutes sitting staring at this. We'll come back and get our image when it's ready. But maybe I can find some other interesting images here. Well, actually, I like these too. I like both of these. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this one. Now, you probably do not have a screen capture tool, and you don't really need to do what I'm about to do now, but I'm just going to demonstrate these are some of the things you might do when you're out there making a web page. So I'm going to use Snagit, and by the way, you could go to TechSmith and get the free 30-day trial, but we're not going to spend time on that right now. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to grab another one, and I'm going to mash them up. Why not? Because I kind of like that one too. Again, you don't have to do one. Just grab one image, just one simple image. That's more than good enough. But I'm showing you because some of you guys might have an interest in being a web developer or something. These are some of the skills you might use, with Photoshop or something. I have Photoshop. I don't want to spend time on it right now. So now I have one image or a couple of images or whatever. Now look here. I must save the image down to my local hard drive. I must get that image to where my web server can get to it. So I'm going to say File, Save As, and I'm going to find my directory. I'm going to find my directory where my project is. Right there it is. Hopefully you remember the name of it. So that's why I call things by the date, by the way, because there's a word in Persian. My wife uses this word on me. It's called mang. Mang. Mang means absent-minded. Mang is when you don't remember things, and that's sure me. So I help myself out by giving things good naming. So now I'm going to give this file a good name. I'm just going to call it, I don't know, image 1 or something. I know it's not very creative, but that's what I'm going to call it. Image 1. So now hopefully you've all downloaded some image down to your hard drive. And if you didn't have that, for example, here could be another way that you could just simply download it. I'll show you another option because maybe you don't know it. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to say save image as, right click, save image as, and then you just save the image, right? Just that simple. Once again, I have to go back to my folder. There it is. And I'm just going to call it brownbear.jpg. Brownbear.jpg. So now I have two files. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. Everybody doing okay? I don't see any chat comments so far, so I'm guessing hopefully we're all okay here. That's creepy. Oh, that's probably like a brown bear light or something. Anyway. So now I'm going to go over to here, to my Visual Studio Code. There it is. And look, my images are now showing up in my File Explorer. See, there they are, but I need to get them into the page now. How do I do that? Well, we use a tag which is called the image tag. So angle bracket IMG, and then you say the source. So here my source is on local hard drive. So I'm just calling it image1.jpg. And that should be good enough. Now I'm going to save and rerun my web server. So save, save, save. Right click, open in. That's odd. Why is my open with server not showing? Well, it could be because it's already running. I'll open with live server. No, but 5 server is something else. Now, there's another thing I'll show you. If you go down to the bottom of your screen, you see live share is right there. No, that's collaboration server. That's something else. I want web server. Oh, if you go over to here to the bottom right of the screen, see there's something called Go Live. And if I click on that, it says Going Live. And I'm now serving my web page, and now it's pretty okay, but for some reason my image is not showing. I don't know what I did wrong, so I'll use a troubleshooting technique. I'll say right click and view page source. I guess I'm not. Oh, you know why? Because I did not point to my file correctly. I did not point to my file correctly. No, didn't do that. So I'll fix it now. So here, I think in Visual Studio Code, I have to put // and then you see my image completion is showing up. So now if I say save, and if I go back to my server, oh, still not showing. Interesting. So let's do right click, view page source again. Image1.jpg. Oh, because it's image1.png, not image1.jpg. Haha, now I know. PNG. Save. And reload. Now I get my first web page up and going. So that's my web page. Although I'm not seeing brown. Oh, because I haven't put Brown Bear's image there yet. So let's go and do that. I'm going to get rid of my height and width. I'll just let the image show up in its natural size. And I'll copy that line and I'll paste. Control-C, Control-V. And I'll get my second image, which is brown. Oh, I actually spelt it wrong. I called it brown here. So I'm going to right-click and say rename, because maybe if I name it wrong, I'll get confused later. So I'll say rename, and I'll call it Brown Bear. And here I'm going to go and point to this brownbear.jpg. Brown bear. .jpg. There it is. And I'm going to click on that to autocomplete. Now I'm going to save. And I'm going to go back to my web browser, and now I've got all my images stuff showing up there. Now I'm going to kick out the amount of code that I have so far if you want to see my code, right? It's not that hard, I think, but maybe you want to see it. So I'm going to right click and copy and drop this into your instructions. Here we go. So at the bottom, I'll put something called completed code. You can just copy and paste my code if you need to at the end. All right, so we've made a couple of simple accomplishments so far. Now that we know the basic structure of a web HTML document object model and how to serve it up on a web server, right, here's our phase one accomplishments. Metacognition says that if you keep track of your accomplishments, you feel more encouraged, and it encourages you to keep doing more. Right? That's called short loop reward cycle. Very important for children, by the way. All of the people, I'm 60 years old this year, so I'm looking back at children I grew up with from, when we were 5 years old or something. And the people I saw who got very successful, the children who were very successful, were the ones who were praised and sort of their parents told them how great they are and how smart they are. And the people whose parents were always very critical and telling them off and making fun of them and not giving some appreciation for their efforts, they didn't have a good life. They just, it seems they couldn't find the fire inside themselves to accomplish. Why I'm telling you this is that you're not children anymore, you're young adults. At some point in the future, probably many of you will be parents. It is very important to give your children and your employees, your spouse, husband, wife, partner, family members, even your parents, right there, human beings. Give people encouragement. Give them short loop reward cycles. So let's give that to ourselves by keeping track of our accomplishments, because we've done some good work so far. Right, so we've seen how to set up Visual Studio Code and get a simple HTML page to serve. So now here's our next step. Next, we want to make a kind of a realistically complicated. We want to make a sort of a real world complexity page. Make a page which tells the story that we want to tell on our web page. So next steps now. Let's make a more complicated page which tells the story we want to tell. Now, you guys, I'm not sure if I've gone over with you this before because I teach it to all my students, and maybe I did, and maybe this is the first time, but how to construct a proper ChatGPT prompt. So first of all, you tell the AI what you want. Well, first of all, you tell it what role to play in. Tell the AI who it is today. And then you tell the AI what you want. And then you tell it the reason why. Because ChatGPT or any language model is trained on billions and billions of words. And it's like, imagine you're sort of walking through a forest with so many trees, And if you don't, if somebody asks you go through the forest and get something and do something or bring it back, if they tell you the reason why they want it, and then if you're in some situation you don't know whether to go left or right, if you can figure out why you're supposed to be doing this, it'll help you navigate around. So tell the AI the reason why. State the reason why. And then tell it the format you want the answer in. Tell it how to present the answer. So now let's go and make a ChatGPT prompt and say all of these things. And I'm going to go ahead and guess everybody has ChatGPT. I mean, unless you've been living in the mountains for the last couple of years or something, we all know what it is. So let's go and fire up our ChatGPT. So we're going to go and make now a new prompt, a new query. So I'm going to tell the AI, you are a highly experienced web application developer with many years of experience building websites, web applications with HTML, JavaScript, CSS. You were also, because there's a difference between being a web programmer and being a graphic designer. Those are two different skills. You are highly experienced in constructing beautiful quality graphics for web applications. Beautiful quality graphics for web applications. By the way, I changed my mind. I'm not going to make a website about history of technology because I just thought that this could be something. There's an actual real project I'm working on right now, and I'm just going to use that as my example. But stop and think about this for a minute. I don't know how you grew up. I hope you had a pleasant, experience as a child. But where I grew up, my parents, and not just them, basically, parents back then were so they were fucked in the head. They were just they were crazy. Imagine, children growing up being told, you're very smart, you're great at math, you're great at this, you're great at that, you're a natural athlete, you're so graceful, you're so successful. All I remember parents and teachers telling children when I was a child is you're so fucking no, well, they didn't use that word, but they were sort of thinking it. You're so stupid, you can't do anything right, you never do your homework, you do everything wrong, you're a big failure, you don't succeed. Like that's how we actually speak to children, and we're so confused about how messed up they are. But anyway, be nice to your AI and it'll be nice to you. That's what I'm saying. So tell it what you want, and now your job, and this is just my part. You change this for whatever is good for your story. I'm going to tell it about my story. Your job is to construct a website to present a product called, this is a product I'm actually working on, by the way, with a few other people, AI Sage, which provisions, which uses swarms of autonomous AI agents, swarms, like swarms of bees, swarms of autonomous autonomous AI agents to provision custom AI teachers for students. And that could be children, right? Could be high school students, college students, university. Could be adults who need to get retrained and reskilled in different areas. Adult learners taking reskilling. So you're a highly experienced web applications, highly experienced constructing. Your job is to construct a website to present the concept for a company, to present the concept of a new company. Called AI Sage. Which creates AI avatars constructed by swarms of autonomous AI agents to revision custom AI teachers for students. I'm just going to take a couple of seconds to jump into my design document for this because as long as I'm already doing this, I'm just going to also do it as well as I can here. Hang on. Just keep working on your own story for a couple of minutes. Based on this conversation, now I'm asking one AI agent to generate a prompt for another AI agent. Are you seeing what I'm doing? I'm using ChatGPT to generate a ChatGPT prompt for another ChatGPT session. Based on this conversation, generate a prompt to instruct another ChatGPT session. Create a web page with coverage for this entire topic. Web page content for this business concept. You guys keep working ahead by yourself, right? Work on your own because you know what you want. I don't know what you want. And if you don't know, then go to your ChatGPT and say, construct a ChatGPT prompt which will generate messaging for HTML content for X, Y, and Z, for whatever it is that you want. By the way, you guys are adults, you're not children, so this is kind of an adult subject. But apparently there's this thing out there on Instagram and stuff. There are these women who charge, I don't know, money, and they'll sort of talk to you about, I don't know, sexy things, this and that. Apparently now about 20% of those AI chat friends or whatever they're called, they're AI generated, right? They're not even real human women there. So you got to be aware of what's going on with this stuff. You got to know what's going on in the world you're living in. All right, so now I'm going to take my prompt, which was created by this AI session, and I'm going to drop it into this AI session. So I'm basically just dropping this entire other prompt directly into here, but I'm also wagon training it up to the instruction to create HTML content. Let's press enter and see what happens. Oh, did I tell it to output an HTML? Yeah, no, one thing I did forget was the last little bit of my prompt, right? So I told you guys to do it, but I forgot to do it myself. I should have said output in HTML format suitable to be a complete web page. Output the result. Output this content as HTML in a fully properly formed HTML page. And I will give you my prompt, by the way. I'll give you my exact prompt if you want to use it. I'm also going to say, please include CSS to make the page cheerful and inviting. Inviting. Please use, well, I'll get to JavaScript later. I'll add some JavaScript later. I don't want to make it too complicated right now. Please invent 3 customer testimonials from a professional educator, from a college professor, a high school principal, and a student. Describing their wins and happy outcomes with this product. Now you're saying, but Peter, aren't you lying to people if you use AI generated testimonials? Hello? Do you honestly believe all the crap that's out there is real? You're not children anymore, right? Like, grow up and become an adult and figure out that people are lying to you, because if you don't know, then it's going to keep happening. Describing their happy wins and successful engagements with AI Sage. All right, I don't see any chat comments. Oh, actually, I'm going to give you my I'm going to give you my prompt if you want to get some ideas from it. But once again, you're going to change I mean, if you want to write about my story, you're welcome to, but probably more interesting for you if you write about your own story. It's still going. Guys, I'm going to give myself a little break, but let's not take too long of a break because I want to get through this, and if we finish early, you can go and do other things today. So let's take a break and resume in 10 minutes at 9:20. By the way, somebody, I'm going to pause the recording again. So, by the way, if you want to see my video, which I'm building up for my idea here, you don't have to, it's not part of our lesson, but if you're curious to get more background on this, you can go and watch this video here. Talks about my idea. But right now, I want to share my video on how to use ChatGPT to teach yourself anything. Ah, your videos, where did they go? Maybe I put it in my other account. Hang on. Remember what I told you that they're using AI to generate influencers? Yeah, that's a thing. That's happening. ChatGPT, your personal study buddy. There you go. And of course, you can always go if you want more resources on learning HTML tagging. You can always go and study here, right? So just go to this resource and all the tags and so on we're using are right there. All right, let's go back and see if my web page is ready yet. Yeah, no, that was something else. That was my other session. Oh yeah, this is here. Yeah, so anyway, now I'm going to go up here and I'm just going to copy all of this code right there. I'm going to say copy code and I'm going to go to Visual Studio Code and I'm going to select whatever's there, erase it, and replace it. Now I'm going to save. And I'm going to right click and rerun my Open with Live server. And that is my web page. And I think we'll all agree that is a very professionally looking web page. Right? I've got some testimonials. And I'm also, now let's see if I can embed my video in here. Can I do that? Well, I guess maybe. Let's find out. Please provide. It's interesting, we don't say please to human beings, but we say please to the AI. Provide HTML code to embed this video into my web page. To embed this into your page, use the iframe tag. Here's the code snippet, and I can just drop that somewhere into my page. You can place the snippet in the body of your HTML tag where you want the video to appear. You can adjust height and width. So I'm going to say copy. Now I'm going to go to my Visual Studio Code. So guys and ladies, girls and boys, are you getting it? ChatGPT can help me if I know how to prompt it and I know how to use a tool like Visual Studio Code to get the code to run. If I just said make a web page and it gives me some code, well, I don't really know what to do after that. So I need to have some domain knowledge of the area I'm working in. I suppose I will put my video up here near the top. See, there's the header. There is the body. Oh, by the way, in Visual Studio Code, you also have an outline over there. You can navigate your way around your page if you need to. So if I want to get down to the body, there it is. So everything I put should be in the body, right? If I put something in the head, that wouldn't really get me too far. Oh, actually, that's the body for CSS. The body of my page starts here. So I'm going to put my video way up at the top, and let's see what that looks like. So I'll paste, and I will save and rerun. Are you guys having fun? I hope you're enjoying this. Because traditionally, and I've been teaching this longer than you've been alive, I've been teaching this quite a while, the big problem with teaching technology is the students would learn the big concept, but then they would also at the same time have to learn all of these little details, and that was too much cognitive loading, and that made it frustrating. Now you can concentrate only on what you want to do, and your assistant will generate the code for you. Is that making people lazy or something? I don't think so, because when we use a programming language like Java, we're using the compiler to turn our Java code into bytecode we can run on the CPU. If we had to do assembler language programming on the CPU, which I have done, by the way, it's very mentally intense to keep track of what you want to do at the same time of figuring out how to do it. Now, with your Code Assist tool, you can keep your focus concentration on what you want to do and let your AI come up with the detailed nitty-gritty coding of making it work. All right, so let's rerun. Open with live server. And there's my video right there.
Have you ever pondered what the future of learning might look like? Welcome to MindForge, the place.
I'm going to share this out with you if you just want to see how I've got my code going so far. So I'm just going to say Control A, select all, Control C to copy, and I will go to your lab book. And I can't wait to see what you guys do. I'm sure your work is going to be so interesting. So I'm just going to replace all of this. Okay, I still don't see any questions, so I guess you guys are okay. And I could go and blow that up to a full-size YouTube window if I wanted to do that. Ready to embark on a transformative journey? Sign up and experience the future of education. Reach out to us. Now, in this case, there's no action behind the button. Now, you see up here, I have a top menu bar as well, so that can navigate me around to various parts of my page. So that was pretty much our goal for today, which is to get this up and running. And I'm going to present one additional thing you could do. So here could be, this is kind of optional, but this is phase 2 if you want to do it. So part 1 will be to construct a simple web page running in Visual Studio Code. A hypertext transfer protocol is the network protocol that HTML runs on. So construct a simple web page running and being served up by the HTTP server in Visual Studio Code. Now part 2, which you don't, so that's what I want. And in fact, what your hand in for this is going to be is to just make a text file. I'm not even going to bother with zipping at this point. We don't need to. It's a little bit complicated. Some people might kind of have a challenge with it. So your hand in is to make a text file. And I will demonstrate this in a couple of minutes. I'll show you exactly how to do it. Make a text file. Save as your name ID, name student ID. And upload that text file to. I will demonstrate this in a couple of minutes. And I will make a Dropbox location for this. Are you guys impressed with yourself? You should be, huh? You've done a very... Several years ago, it would have taken a pretty experienced web designer probably at least a full day of work to do what we've just done in 30 minutes. And it would have taken another professional called a business concept designer to come up with the idea for the concept. Well, maybe you've done that by yourself already, using your AI as a prompt to help you put your ideas together. All right, now part 2, which is optional, and you could do it or you could not. It doesn't matter. I will demonstrate that, and then I will demonstrate how to do your upload work. But part 2, which is optional, is you can try serving your web page up on a real live server, which is called Google Sites. And if you have Gmail, then you can access Gmail with your, you can access Google Sites with your Gmail user ID and password with your Gmail credentials. So let's do the following if you want to do this. So first of all, we access Google Sites as following. So we go to sites.google.com. Now here's some stuff which I've done for other classes over time. Right, there's something we did for, well, actually, I also do this for my real estate stuff. I make actual real websites here. This is an embedded video and so on. So it's not a toy, right? There's real stuff you can do here. However, now we're going to go and say, make a site with the plus sign. So click on plus right there. And now, once again, I'm going to ask ChatGPT to give me a good page name for my website. I'm going to host this HTML on Google Sites. Please provide a SEO, search engine optimization, SEO title, conveying excitement about this concept. Very good. So I'm going to grab that. And of course, that's not showing up against the dark background. I'm also going to give it a site name. That's going to be part of my URL. I'll just call that MindForge. And similar, yeah, so MindForge. Now look, see this background is pretty dark, kind of depressing, not very happy. So I'm going to try and I'll change my header to a light band. Well, actually, what about title only? Title only is good. I want to keep it simple. And I'm going to make that bigger. So now I'm using a WYSIWYG tool, right? I'm using a graphical tool now, not coding. I'm letting the site help me out here. Pretty good. Now, do I want a background image for this? Yeah, I suppose I like images. Pictures make me happy. Although I don't think I can have a background picture if I do it this way. Cover. Big. Banner. Yeah, that's better. And I want a better background there. And how do I get a background? I forget now. It's been a while since I've done this. Oh, what about that? Vision. Ah, vision. I don't like that background, though. Can I change that? Create theme. I'll just call it Peter1 for my theme. Add a logo. Add a banner. Yeah, I want a banner image. That's what I want. Now, where's my banner image going to come from? Well, I have a paid version of ChatGPT. I'm not sure if you guys can do this, but I'll demonstrate what could be done, and then I will demonstrate an and then I will demonstrate another way to do it. So here I'm going to say make an image, and I pay $20 a month, so maybe you don't have that, but make a background image consonant with this theme. for the banner of the Google website page. Meanwhile, if you cannot generate an image from ChatGPT, you can go back to Bing Create, which I closed, I suppose. Did I? I guess I did. So let's reopen that. Huh. Not bad. I'm going to download that. Oh, it doesn't let me oh, yeah, download. So now I'm going to bring that image over to my... Actually, I don't need to because I'm not hosting this up in my Visual Studio Code website. All I need to do is upload it. So I'm just going to see the download location. I'm just going to drag it up there. So that's in this location. Copy. So here I'm going to say upload on my Google site, and I'm going to drive over to that directory, and I'm just going to upload that. Well, that looks pretty good, except the black lettering doesn't work, so let's make that white. Or maybe light yellow or something. I think that looks pretty eye-catching in my opinion. But if you don't have the ability to make an image that way, you can make an image like this using Bing Create, which I guess I closed, so let's open it. Bing. Oh, actually, it was here before. Now I'll make another image. I will say make, and the more you tell the AI about what you want, the better a job it's going to do for you. Make a image for use as a Google Sites background banner image on the theme of AI Sage, your personalized AI study buddy. Once again, it's going to take a couple of seconds to generate that. So while my image is generating, because I can come back to that, now can I get my HTML up to here? Actually, I don't think I've tried to do this before, but I'm going to try and do it in front of you now. And maybe it'll work and maybe it won't. So I'll go to Insert up there. See, I have Insert, Pages, and Themes. So I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to get HTML block. Is it called HTML block? Again, I've never done this before, but I've always thought it should work. Oh, cloud search, that's a new thing. They didn't have that before. Image carousel. Oh, embed. See, I want my embed widget right there. I want it. So I'll click and drag onto the page. Click. There it is. Now I'm going to say embed code, and I'm going to get all of my code, and I'm going to dump it in there, and I'm going to hope like hell if it works, because if it does, it would be mega cool. So I'm going to copy. By the way, this is the code you're going to copy to put into that text file to upload to me. Or if you get it going on your Google Sites, you can send me the URL to your Google site. You can do it either way. So here I'm going to say copy, and I'm going to go to Google Sites and paste. I don't know if it's going to be too big. I don't really know. And next. Oh, is it going to work? Jesus Christ, this would be nice. Ah? Yeah, it's working. Cool. So now I actually have this up live on the real internet. And I could put other things here. I'm not going to. I could put Google Maps, right? I could put Google Photos. That's what I do for my real estate webpage. I'm not going to, but I could. So I guess that's my entire page. Now, I think it would be nicer if this was like maybe a little bit bigger and centered. Can I get my video to be bigger and centered? Well, I can try. Let's find out. Is everybody following along with me? Are you all okay? You've got the video, right? You can watch it later. You can email me if you want help later. You've got till next week to get this done. But I think this is very exciting. I'm honestly, I'm very excited for you guys. So many cool tools you're being born into the world of. So you can change, you can experiment with changing your colors if you want. I'm not a big color person, so I'm going to guess whatever they gave me here is probably okay. If you want to change your colors, go for it. Now here's my video up here. Height, width. Could I make that centered? I should be able to. Oh, I have a chat comment. Yeah, I would think using my story would probably be kind of boring, Gorsimran. I would say make your own story. Ask ChatGPT to help you. Type in your interests, sports, I don't know, music, art, whatever you're into, and ask it to make a web page based on that. I will demonstrate that. Gursimran, let me finish what I'm doing right now, because we're almost finished this anyway, and then I will come back and demonstrate it again. Okay, one of our class members asked me in a private message, can I make a web page about my virtual AI girlfriend? I'm not going there. You do you. It's your life. Do whatever you want. But yeah, I suppose you could if you wanted to badly enough. Oh, Jesus, you ladies, I'm so worried about you in this generation. Anyway, oh yeah, I want to make my video centered and bigger. So I'm going to copy this. Copy. And I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. Those are actually I don't like those myself, but I will leave it to you to make or find any image you want. I'm not going to use those because I think they don't look too good, but I'll leave it to you to generate or find an image somewhere for your background banner. Now I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and I'm going to paste this code in and I'm going to say, please regenerate this HTML to make it larger and centered. Use CSS to center it. So it's actually regenerating the whole page for me. There, that's the part I want, really. Div class equals IT container. So I'm going to copy out that part. I'll say copy because I don't want the whole HTML DOM. And I'll go back to here. I'll say paste. All right, let's see what that looks like. So I'll say save and run. I think maybe my server has stopped, so I have to go and open it again. Oh yeah, see, my server is recycling. It's running around in a little circle down there. Server is offline. Now I clicked it again. Server is... Oh, there it is. Well, it didn't make my video any bigger. Anyway, that's a very small issue comparing to everything else I've done. iframe is not supported by Firefox. Yeah, I don't really want to go with something not supported by Firefox. I'm just going to go back to it the way it was before. By the way, it's a better practice to not constrain height and width both, because then it'll get squished out of shape. Just constrain only one of the dimensions and let the browser be in charge of the other one. So I'm going to get rid of the height, and I'm going to make the width 800, which is most web pages. Although, you got to be careful, because if somebody's using a cell phone with a smaller screen, now you don't want to mess that up. I'll give it a little border, and let's see what that looks like now. Save and run. Once again, I guess I have to restart my server. Click to close server. Now go live to open server. Well, again, it's still not really what I want. Oh, you know why? Because the whole frame has to be brought down. I see what's going on. I'm going to tell it to regenerate the entire page. I should have done that in the first case. So I'll say, please regenerate the entire page with the larger centered video frame. Okay, let's try that. And again, it's going to take several minutes to do this. See, the reason why I'm generating the entire page is because other parts of the framing have to be changed to accommodate the larger video. All right. Now, one of your students was saying, how do you come up with your own story and so on? All right, good question. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT in another session. And I'm going to say, I'm going to ask, so Gursimran, this is for you. Please help me to ideate a good idea story for my website. Now, Gursimran, you're going to put whatever you're interested in. I don't know you. I'm sure you're a very interesting guy. Just so happens I don't know anything about you. So you're going to say my interests are, and then whatever. So I guess I could say my interests are Norse pagan culture, runestones, Assyri. How do you spell? I know how to spell these things in Norse. I don't know how to spell them in English. Assyri? Sorry, I don't, guys. I have to check this because I don't want to spell it wrong. How do you spell Assyri in English? A seer. Yeah, that's the Viking. I want the English spelling of it. Well, what if I try putting in the Norse spelling? Maybe it'll be smart enough to understand. So, Gorsimran, you're going to do this for you. And then when it finishes, you're going to ask it, please regenerate this in HTML. Okay, any other questions from anybody on that stuff? Any other questions? Because I'm getting close to wrapping down the class. I don't think we're going to go till 11 o'clock today. I think maybe by around, 10:20 or something, it'll be finished. You can have some time to work on finishing your project. Not a problem. Gursimran and everybody else, you're going to be living and working in a world where everybody you're competing with for the job is going to be doing exactly what I'm doing right here. And if you can do it well, you will have a job, and if you can't keep up with them, they're going to leave you behind. Oh, I was waiting for it to regenerate my new web page, of course. Let's go and see that. Where's the window that my HTML that my thing? Oh, it's running here. That was the one I was helping Simran with. Oh, here's my primary one. Where is my where? Oh yeah, here's where it's regenerated. Yeah, I guess it's finished. I think it's finished. And I've also asked for some changes to the CSS cascading style sheets to uh, dress the page up a little bit. So let's go and copy that. And I'll drop it directly into my sites. Where did I put Google Sites? Oh, here it is. So I'm going to go back. Now, how do I, because I haven't done this too much, how do I change the HTML? Maybe I click on the pencil to edit. Oh, here. Now I'm going to say Control A, select all, delete, paste, next. Ah, that's better. Well, not really, because I lost all of my other HTML. It was better before. Let's see what it looks like over here. Yeah, same problem. My video is getting bit. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let that go for right now. So I'm just gonna go back here and oh shit, I didn't save it, so I actually lost what I had before. Ha ha ha. I lost my work. Now, if I would have set up a GitHub, I could have gone back to it. But anyway, maybe I can still fix this. Is this? Oh no, actually, this is not even my updated code. This is my code I had. Yeah, this is my code I had before. So if I get rid of this, because I changed it in Google Sites, I did not change it here. So save, reload, and that's everything except my video. However, I would like my video to be in there. Maybe I'll put my video at the bottom. Maybe that'll work better. So I'm going to go back to here and get my video code. This is my new one, right? Yeah, this is my new one with warm summer colors, I guess. So I'm going to go E. Yeah, that's my video. Oh, I see. It did not regenerate the entire page. Just that's why I didn't see the updated CSS. Anyway, let's put this here. Above the footer. Save and run. Save and open with server. And there's my video. Oh, I can make, maybe I can make my video bigger now. I'm going to show you another thing you can do. I'm just another tool called Perplexity, which I work with as well. So I'm going to grab this code, and I'm going to go to Perplexity AI. Oh, it's the wrong browser. I'm going to say modify this code to make the video larger and centered. In fact, full screen large and centered. Actually, maybe I don't want it. Make the video centered and larger. And I'll paste my code in there. All right, let's try that. So copy and delete that old one, including the div container. Paste. Save and run. Oh, I like this. I actually think this is much better. Now, let's see if I can get this going in Google Sites. So I'm going to copy my whole code. Control A, select all, Control C, copy, go to Google Sites. The biggest challenge I have is just keeping track of all my windows, right? Everything else with this is very simple. It's just keeping track of where your things are. Where did I put my Google Sites? Did I close it? Maybe I closed it. Well, it doesn't matter. I can go back. I can just open it again if I closed it. Sites.google.com. There's MindForge. There is my... So I'm going to edit. Control A, select all, backspace, delete, paste. Next. Save. That's perfect. That's beauty. All right, guys, so let's wrap up this activity. So you have two ways you can hand in this assignment. You can either hand me in the Google Sites URL, which I will now show you how to do. So you go up here to the top. First of all, you have to say publish, because I haven't published this yet. So I'm going to go to my share icon, and I'm going to share with the world. And if you don't do this, I will not be able to see your site. Well, I mean, I won't give you 0, but then I have to email you and ask you to share your site, and that's wasting everybody's time. So just do it right the first time. So here I'm going to say publish site, everybody in the world, you and me and your brother and your sister and their children and their friends, everybody can see it. So publish site, everybody can see it. Good. That's what we want. That's what we need. So if you go the Google Sites way of doing it, you want to make it public, and there is the name that your site is going to show up as. So you give it some good name, and make sure that, please, that it is public in view. So if you go the Google Sites route, which I think you should because it's more interesting, you'll have a real live URL you can set up in the world, and you can paste that URL on your LinkedIn, and you can say, look at what I did at my college today. Because employers do check you out online, and it's impressive when you put your real schoolwork there. Why not? You know, it's free, and employers are going to see it. I would suggest you post this on LinkedIn. I will show you how to do that. So if you go the Google Sites way of doing the project, hand in, take your published URL and put it in a text file. Put it into a text file. Put the URL into a text file. Name it as student name, student ID. Save as student name, student ID, student ID. And upload to our Dropbox location. Right there. Right, so you can either take your simple, so here's the two ways of doing it. You can take your code out of Visual Studio Code, right? Construct a simple web page in Visual Studio Code. Get it up and running and being served by the server. And then take that code, copy that code to a text file and hand in as follows. Or option B, you can go what I just did, which is put it as a widget in Google Sites. And in that case, remember to say publish, 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 publish. Right? I keep repeating myself 40 times because students still don't do the shit I ask them to do. And it's not hard. It's very simple, really. Make sure you do publish. Click this button. See right there. Click it. Click. Click the button. Do it now. Click the damn button. Click publish. And make sure that you set your permissions so world is a viewer. Set your permissions to make everyone in the world a viewer. Set permissions. Set the permissions to make World Republic a viewer. I have a chat comment coming in. I'll get to it in a couple of seconds. Hang on here. That is a very I'm going to share this out with you so you can see it. Whoever's sending me a chat comment, just wait a couple of seconds. Hello, sir. Tomorrow we have our virtual system in class. It's up to you guys. I will go either way. We can do it online if you like. or we can do it in class if you like. We can do what does people want? What do you want? Because for me, basically we're just going to be reviewing a couple of things tomorrow. Well, we're going to do a lab of cloud computing, but that's basically going to be like this. So you guys tell me, if any one person wants in class, I'll go. Anyone wants in class, or everybody wants online? If one person wants in class, I'll be there in class. If nobody's going to be there, I'll run it online. You tell me what you want. All right, let's do it this way. By 6 p.m. tonight, if you want, if you're going to be there, just you one by yourself, that's still good enough. If anyone wants in class, let me know, or else we'll make it online. You can just stay at home and take, because whoever wants to stay at home and take it online can do that anyway, right? So figure out what you want. If anybody wants to be there, tell me, and if nobody tells me they want to be in class, well, I'll just run it online. Anyway, let's finish up our work now. We're getting near the end of this class. So now you've seen, I'm going to show you how to share out. I'm going to show you both ways of handing in your project. So if you did it via Visual Studio Code, you're going to say Control A, copy, select all, and then you're going to go and make a text file, notepad, I don't know, whatever you got, text pad or something. I don't even know what this is. This is something I did before. I have no idea what any of this stuff means. Anyway, I'll just make a new file. And then you save that as student name, student ID, and you hand this in. You can even put your information up there if you wanted to, I suppose. Or put your student name, student ID. And file save, and save it as student name, student ID. I have a chat comment coming in. Whoever that is, I'll be with you in a minute. Let's just finish one thing at a time. So we'll say File, Save All, or Save As, and then go to any directory where you're going to remember where it is. Record. Oh, that's something else. That wasn't my C drive. All right. So that's my directory I've been working in today. So I will save it right there, and I will upload that file to Dropbox. But if you want to go the other way, which is Google Sites, I will show you that too. Mine is good. Rupinder, I kind of get the feeling that everybody wants online because, well, not too many people have been showing up in class to start with. So yeah, let's do tomorrow virtual systems. Let's do it virtually. Online only. But please remember the following week you have final exam. Get your ass to school, because if you're not sitting in the class on... Hang on, guys. Hang on here. Sorry, guys. It was just something. My daughter, something's going on at her university. She's going into a new program. I just had to do something. So, yeah, anyway, let's take care of finishing this now. So, yeah, tomorrow will be online only. Very good. So now I was going to show you how to, how to publish your Google Sites URL. Once again, I have to find it. Yeah, so just blast off into your WhatsApp group for the class. Just make sure everybody's up to date and they know that. Yeah, here. So now I'm going to go and say publish. So I hit the publish button, and you can give it any web address you want. I'll say publish. And now I'm going to say view, copy publish site link. So if you want to join me, you can actually go and click on this link yourself now, and you will see my website. Right, so that's actually live on the internet. You can go and put that on, your LinkedIn, whatever. You can show off your good work. So my website is actually up there live for the whole world to see now, including my video. So if you want to do it that way, you can do it as well. You can put it in a text file and you can upload it to me. So upload, or you can do both, I suppose, if you wanted to badly enough, but upload either VSC code or Google Sites URL, which for me is this. So you save that file, and then you go to the Dropbox link, which I provided right there. And you just open that up in a browser. And then you go and find that file, which you saved. Hopefully you remember where you saved it. There, that's me 12B. Yeah, nice. So I grab that file, that's my hand-in file named a student name, student ID, and I drop it up to there, and that's all I do. Then it's all done. That's my project. And I think you agree this was a very simple project. It's been a lot of fun. So I'm going to wrap up the class now and let you spend your last little bit of class getting this finished. This